Well, so far so good for Buster Posey. Hasn't been in the major leagues that long, and yet he's already enjoyed his fair share of success. For the second time in 3 years, his Giants are World Series champions, and just like in 2010, he's a big reason why. Next Thursday, we'll find out if he'll be named the National League's most valuable player. If so, he joins some elite company.
Buster Posey, Gerald Dempsey Posey III.
Buster Posey has played in parts of 4 big league seasons, but his career is already filled with memorable moments.
Posey with all kinds of glistening credentials.
He was the 2010 National League Rookie of the Year.
Not coincidence that the Giants have taken off since his arrival.
A cautionary tale on the dangers of catching.
Posey can't handle it, and Posey gets clobbered.
And he's now a 2-time World Series champion.
The Giants are the world champions.
Just 350 hits into his young career, Posey may soon add another capstone to his ever-growing resume.
There's a lot right now on the shoulders of Buster Posey.
He is one of those that's going to garner some serious consideration come the end of September.
At 25 years old, he's a top candidate for the National League MVP award.
Way back and a grand slam for Buster Posey.
Since 1931, only 10 catchers have been named MVP. Johnny Bench won the award twice, while Yogi Berra and Roy Campanella were each named MVP a record 3 times.
This is my prize of my baseball career. The most valuable player of 1951.
All 3 are Hall of Famers, but Posey already has a leg up on those legends.
The batting champ in the National League, the front runner for the most valuable player.
In 2012, Posey's .336 average made him just the 4th catcher ever to win a batting title.
When you have a guy that's catching and has caught fire in the second half, I think Posey's going to get a lot of votes.
I don't know a player that's made a bigger impact on a club than what he has on our club.
Should he win the MVP, he would become the 3rd Giant to earn both the batting title and an MVP in the same season, joining Willie Mays and Barry Bonds.
You can't say enough about what he's done for us over this year, especially in the second half. I think he should be the MVP of the league.
Posey's already matched the accomplishments of several legendary catchers.
Such a strong, talented, and natural leader.
If his recent numbers are an indicator, he may match another as the 11th catcher ever to be an MVP.
The potential MVP of the regular season.
That just shows you why this kid has got the promise that he had.
Well, his postseason was good. That, of course, won't count when it comes to the voting. But as we take a look at the last 4 catchers to win the MVP, Joe Mauer, Pudge Rodriguez, Thurman Munson, and Johnny Bench, the last 4 to do so. And Bench, of course, 72 and also 70 won the MVP as well. Let's head over to Studio 42 where Bill Ripken and Harold Reynolds are standing by. And, Bill, I'll ask you, what makes other teams so enviable of the Giants since they have Buster Posey?
Well, when you have a catcher that can do what he can do and hit in the middle lineup, you're a leg up on a lot of people. And you know what? When you're talking about MVP candidates, offensive numbers come into play. But I want to take a closer look at Buster Posey and what he means to this club and how he handles himself behind the dish. I'm not so sure he gets enough credit for how he handles the ball in the dirt. He's not only blocking these balls, Harold, he's catching a lot of these things. You know, he keeps the guys on base. This play right here was in the postseason. He finds the baseball, barehands it, and then throws a flat-footed laser to third base to get him out. And then we remember this play right here in the World Series where he has the wherewithal to pop out there, make the play, and get things done. And that one right there. Hey, look at this ball. Come on now. You cannot catch that. How do you catch that? That was the freak. But here's the thing. I'm going to go back. A couple years ago in the World Series, you got a young Madison Bumgarner on the mound. Buster Posey comes out to has a conversation. It looks like Righetti's going out. He says, Boch, can they handle it? He goes, yeah, they can handle it. He lets him, he says, stay in the dugout. Here you have 2 young kids, and one of them is your catcher. What happens? They get out of the jam. They go on and win the World Series. Now, I know a couple of those things I showed were in the playoffs this year, in the World Series this year. I know I went back 2 years ago. That doesn't count in MVP voting. But when you see this guy, how he handles himself, and the respect that I think Bruce Bochy and the Giants organization give this kid, pretty special.
No, that is impressive stuff. And the other thing about being the catcher, you're the field general. And why do people say that? Well, I want to give you a little look at what we're talking about, all the things that happens with the guy behind the plate. I love what you're talking about, blocking the ball and catching it, Billy. But I want to talk about his vision from where he's at. This is usually what you see on TV. Oh, the catcher's giving signs. Okay, throw over. But here's what he sees when a game's going on. He already knows I got Prince Fielder on first and Belt's not holding him. He sees all that. I see how deep the right fielder is, where the center fielder's at. He's controlling all this. He sees all this from his vantage point. Where's the shortstop? Oh, he's got his hand in his back pocket. Must be cold. And then you got the second baseman here. The catcher sees it all, and this is the play you saw earlier. Why was he able to do that? Because he's already seen the field from a different perspective. And that's just what he sees there. What about when you're looking over and you're taking signs from the manager and you're all of a sudden controlling everything? Bochy flashes him something. He tells the defense, here's what we're going to do. Let me step over, pitch over. Different things like that. That's why managers as catchers, when they finish catching, become good managers. Here's a list of some guys right now that are currently managing and doing a great job because they have a different perspective than anybody on the field. And I think that's why catchers become better managers than pitchers become managers.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, too, when you saw Boch giving him some signs, he's looking over. That's probably controlling the running game. And I remember asking Matt Cain after the perfect game, you know, you were in sync with Buster Posey. Didn't shake him off one time. In fact, he called that 3-2 combio, punch out in the dirt.
Yeah.
He called it. He shook his head yes because he believes in his catcher.